all Tennessee fans would know, even to this day, if you ask Rick Barnes, when did a turnaround start at Tennessee, you're the first name that comes up. So let's go back to after your first year under Donnie Tyndall. He gets let go. What was your reaction like when Rick Barnes got hired?
So just before that, as the rumors are starting to circle around, I promise you the first thing I think was transferring. That's the first thing, like, because I don't know what the future holds. But then I'll tell you this. When I hear rumors that Rick Barnes is coming, I promise you, first thing in my head was I'm not going anywhere. I'm a junkie of like, I love the game, student game. I'm a junkie. Anybody that watches basketball growing up, he had Kevin Durant's my favorite player. I watched Texas growing up, so like, and I'm knowing all of this as rumors are circling around that he's probably going to take the job. Right then and there, I know I'm not leaving because I'm going to play for this coach, regardless of anything. And he doesn't even know me right now, but I know I'm playing for him because I know my history on sports. So right then and there, I knew, like, all right, if he gets a job, I'm staying for sure because he had all these good players at Texas. I consider myself a good player. I'm with it. I'm here, So, and then he comes in and, you have all like the little team workouts and, they trying to evaluate and things like that. And the first, I promise you, the very, very first thing he tells me, and I took it personal, is if you want to be a pro, you have to change your shot. First thing in my head was I've been shooting like this all my life. So basically telling me I'm not a pro because I shoot like this. So automatically I took it personal. So for me, mentally, like, okay, now I got to show, once I got to prove myself again. That's kind of how I took it. So he's like, you got to get your shot quicker. Guys in the league is so athletic, so fast, all this stuff that I hear you. But I got to this point to us having this conversation because of what I've been doing with what I have already. So a little bit is kind of like, I hear you, but I don't really know. So I end up buying in. I'm like, you know what? All right, man. Like, let's. So he showed me like little videos and like little like shoot like this, blah, blah, like just you can improve this, that. So giving me the whole rundown. So I'm like, you know what? All right, let's try it. Let's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. And then from there, I guess I just kind of dialed in and I just kind of locked into it. And then it became a point where before the middle process, it was to where I couldn't even shoot my old way no more. And I didn't have my new jump shot form yet. So I'm kind of in a weird space to where it's like, if I was to go back to New York right now, I probably wouldn't know how to shoot because I'm in the middle of breaking something down and forming it new. So I was kind of like in the middle, like, man, like, this is crazy. But that whole summer, and I'm sure you've heard, for months, I didn't shoot outside the paint for months. Like, I mean, hours and hours and hours with the heavy medicine ball, like countless hours, like just standing in the paint, just with the medicine ball, like thousands and thousands, like in front of the rim, then back up a little bit and just like right under the free throw line, and then right back to square one, and then second spot, and then right under the free throw line, right back to hours. And it's just like, and there was some days it will feel good, and I'll be making every shot. And then there's some days I'm just like, yo, I don't know if this is it. I don't know. Like, I'm about to just say, screw you, and I'm done with, like, I don't know if this shot is it. Like, but those rough days, like, he'll show me videos of how it looks, and it would look so – I think that's what kept me hanging on. He would show me videos of, like, the Steph Currys and the Durants and how it looks and everything. That, I feel like, is what kept me hanging on. And then he'll show me my old shot, and it looks so terrible. So for me, I'm just like, nah, I gotta. All right, let's try to catch it. Let's keep on. Like, I feel like that's what kept me on because it looks so pretty. And then once it goes in, it's like you have a pretty jump shot. It goes in on net. It's like, okay, like, let me just keep. And I was already so invested in it. It's like, I mean, at this point, whatever. Like, I'm out, just keep trying it. And then I said before, like, this is so true. I didn't shoot outside the paint until maybe August, September. That's when I started shooting outside the paint. And my biggest
KP, like, but y'all are still playing some pickup between now and then. So, like, in pickup games,
kinda. I'm not even playing though. That's the thing.
Wow.
So that summer, I barely kind of played. Matter of fact, I think we was doing like Rocky Top. But this is tricky now because now I'm in the middle of trying to fix something, and I'm in the middle of competition. And everyone knows when you're in the middle of competition, what? You go back to what you're comfortable and what you're used to.
Yeah.
So we will have like interns come to the game that was also helping me rebound and everything, just to make sure I'm sticking to what I'm sticking to. So Rocky Top also kind of helped because it was me trying it out and trying a new jumper. But my biggest concern was it looks pretty when I'm open. How does it look? Do I go back to what I'm used to when it's contested? Because I make a lot of contested, tough jumpers. So for me, it's like I needed to still look the same when it's contested. Like I get it looks pretty by myself. I get that. But I need to make contested jumpers. That's where I mess dudes up. So once it started looking real pretty on the contested shots, I said, okay, we have something here. Like we really, really have something. But that whole summer, I barely really played 5-on-5. It was just more individual work. And then Rocky Top, I think, was once a week. And then that's the only time I will go out there and kind of, try my new jumper out. So, and then we'll have guys from the team watching, making sure I'm sticking to, what the plan and goals was.
Well, you talk about being coachable, because not only did you put the work in, but it was kind of trying to fix something that wasn't completely broken. It's not like you were a 25% field goal shooter and not even a double-digit scorer. Like, you were averaging 10, if I'm not mistaken, and Josh Richardson, star of that team. So, naturally you were probably going to average 13, 14 the next year.
Yep.
But still, if I'm not mistaken, you still hold the record for most points by a 2-year player at Tennessee. 905 points in 2 years. Plus, you missed the last 8 games with an injury, and only had 1 year under Coach Barnes. So, man, did it pay off? And it was a story
it definitely did. It definitely. And Coach told me, he was like, "You can shoot better." And in my head, I'm like, "Shoot better?" Like, but then once now I see the finishing product, it's like, you know what? Like, my jumper is way more consistent than I thought it would ever be, and like, it's just it's made sense. Back then, I couldn't really see it. I seen it enough to buy in, but sometimes when you lay down at night, it's like, man, is it really gonna work, or is it really, like, I'm doing it, but man, like, but it's really paid off, like, like.
Was there, like, was it just a natural progression? Was it just naturally seeing the ball go in multiple times, or was there like even a pickup game or a practice or a game itself where you were just like, all right, I've got elite confidence, I made some contested shots, all those things, where you just said, all right.
It was I'm not. It might have been maybe the first game. It might have been maybe the first game of the season. I think the first game of the season had 31.
Yeah.
It might have been that game that kind of solidified it.
Because I was covering you guys.
Solidified it also was when what I started to notice. It was when I was tired, or when I was kind of like fatigued and the intensity picked up. That's how I noticed, like, okay, it really changed, because that muscle memory still was the exact same from when I was fresh and when I was working on a brand new shot. So I always determine everything through that. So the contested shots and the fatigue and playing defense and getting back and shooting long range shots, everything was the same. So that's how I knew I had finally got it. Because a lot of times when you get tired or you get fatigued or mentally you're not in it, you naturally go back to what's comfortable. And my body wasn't doing that with my shot. So that's how I knew right then and there. I'm like, okay, like, I think I got it. Like, I got it now. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not thinking about it. Like, it's just reacting. And Coach Barnes told me, he was like, it takes 21 days to create a habit. And I'll tell you this much. I was in the gym for way more than 21 straight days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. And some of those memorable performances got brought up recently after Keon Johnson had 27 against Kentucky. They brought up when Kevin Punter had 27 at Thompson Bowling Arena. So I want to go back to Rick Barnes for a second because, like, he had immediate credibility with you the minute he stepped in. But everybody's gotten to know his personality of being a jokester, prankster. But, like, was he that way from day one, or did it take some time to get to know each other?
He was kind of that way from day one. Comes in, evaluates everything, and but from the door, he's kind of pretty, like a jokester, kind of, sarcastic, and he got his jokes for days. He's a funny guy. I'll say, he's a funny guy. So, but he was kind of like that for the most part.
Anything he got you big on? I've had a couple good stories on Rick Barnes pranks. Anything he got you that you remember?
Honestly, he's never he's never hit me with any pranks or anything, to be honest. The most he did with me is just yell at me. He yelled at me the most.
What is it about playing point guard for him that makes it the most demanding? Because I remember the first time I got to sit in a film room, and it was my first impression of being around Rick Barnes. I watched the film, and man, like, he stopped every play and every single thing. And admittedly, I was in there like, man, is this kind of micromanaging every single play? Like, how do you even absorb this much information if you're in film?
Yeah. I mean, you have to be a certain
everything to say, look at your pivot foot, look at this, look at that.
Yeah.
But
you have to be a certain type of
Jordan
player.
Ball and all these others. Yeah. So, I mean,
you have to be.
Is he the hardest you've ever been, Coach? Or the most demanding, I should say, at that spot?
I would say detail-wise, for sure. Coach can yell and scream and curse you all day long, but whatever. But in terms of sense of detail and urgency and being sharp, is definitely. And he used to be on me every day, talk about TJ Ford every single day. Like, it was just, now mind you, I've never played this position ever. So this was new to me, and he was on me more than anybody in that gym, So that was just, it was brutal, but, I consider myself a dog. So a lot of times I wouldn't even talk back. Like, he'll just yell and scream, and I'll just look at him with a straight face just to let him know, like, it's not fazing me. So whatever you're saying, continue with what you're doing, and I'm going to just still go hoop, But respecting him like no other. But if you show emotion and do all of this, it's gonna be worse. So just take it for what it is, try to get better, and just be yourself. I feel like that's why I strive, because he yelled at me the most for sure in practice, but guess what? He's telling me that attack. I'll turn over, or go right back in attack. Like, so I couldn't even be mad. And he always held me accountable at all times. So
I'll tell you, and one of the players I forgot that you played with, just because I think of him in terms of his prime, but another player development success story, Admiral Schofield. I mean, when you think about seeing him his freshman year, your senior year, I remember he had some breathing problems because he didn't sleep well. He had his tonsils taken out, like his conditioning wasn't good, some things. But did you ever imagine Admiral Schofield would finish with the career he
honestly, and
you saw his freshman year?
Yeah, me personally, for sure, because he was in the gym as much as I was in the gym, and he's seen how well I did my senior year. So for him coming up behind me, him and Kyle, and I had Kyle when he was on his visit. I was his host. So for them two, especially, to really see what I did and things like that, I feel like they took that and kind of ran with it even more. And AD was a gym junkie, like, he loves to be in the gym, loves to get better. He used to ask me back then, like, what certain moves on the wing, and I used to tell him, I used to say, look, coach is getting mad at these shots that coach didn't, the shots he was shooting his senior year, my senior year, his freshman year, coach used to chew him out for. And me and AD had a conversation. I said, look, the shots you making now and that you're allowed to take and miss, you remember a couple seasons ago where coach used to kick you out of practice, chew you out for even shooting that. And I'm like, look how times has changed, and just with getting better and being more mature and just everything, but that's why I was so proud of him, just for the simple fact that I used to witness him getting destroyed in practice. And now I'm watching games and highlights. Those are the same shots he's making, big shot. That's so crazy, So that was kind of like a proud moment, and he kind of just he stuck with it.